English football is a story of triumph, heartbreak, and moments that have defined generations. A league where history is written, rewritten, and then shattered by the next great team. How did English football evolve from its humble beginnings to the global spectacle it is today? Join us as we embark on a journey through time, revisiting every English league champion from 1929 to 2024. Before the Premier League was formed, before the global icons and billion-dollar sponsorships, football in England was a vastly different landscape. The roots of English football dates back to 1888, when William McGregor, a director of Aston Villa, pioneered the formation of the Football League, the first ever professional football league in the world. The original league consisted of 12 clubs, including Aston Villa, Preston North End, and Everton. Preston North End's Invincibles 1888-89, the first champions, going an entire season unbeaten. Aston Villa's dominance in the 1890s, 5 titles in 10 years, cementing their early reputation. Liverpool and Manchester United's early success, rising from the lower leagues to become dominant forces in the early 1900s. Football's popularity surged, and by the 1920s, the English First Division, which we all know as Premier League now, was firmly established as the pinnacle of the sport in England. Clubs like Huddersfield Town, Arsenal, and Sunderland began asserting dominance, shaping the game's future. Did you know? The first soccer ball used in the English league was made from inflated pig's bladder wrapped in leather. Heavy, weighed about 454 grams, and it was more oval due to the pig's bladder inside. How are soccer balls now made? How many grams do they weigh? Let us know in the comments section. It all began in 1929, when the league crowned its first champion of the era. The Wednesday, a team now known as Sheffield Wednesday, won the league in 1930. Football in England was evolving, but in many ways it was still unrecognizable compared to the modern game. The pitches were often muddy, the balls were heavy, and tactics were still relatively simple. But what these early years lacked in polish, they more than made up for in grit, passion, and legendary figures who laid the groundwork for English football's greatness. Arsenal won their first ever league title in 1931, thanks to Herbert Chapman, a manager with vision who transformed Arsenal into a dominant force. Chapman introduced innovative tactics, including the WM formation, which gave his team greater defensive stability while allowing them to attack with precision. Legendary forward Cliff Baston scoring 28 goals in that campaign. Alongside Baston, players like David Jack and Alex James became key figures in Arsenal's rise to power. This title win marked the beginning of an era where Arsenal would establish itself as one of England's elite clubs. The following season, Everton took center stage, winning the league in 1932. At the heart of their success was Dixie Dean, arguably the most prolific striker of his time. Just a few years earlier, in the 1927-28 season, Dean had set a seemingly unbreakable record by scoring 60 goals in a single First Division campaign, a feat that still stands today. Between 1933 and 1935, Arsenal dominated English football, winning the league 3 times in a row, a feat that solidified their reputation as the country's strongest team. This period of dominance was masterminded by Herbert Chapman, a visionary manager who revolutionized tactics and training methods. Under his leadership, Arsenal played an attacking, organized style of football that overwhelmed opponents. Tragically, Chapman passed away in 1934, but his legacy endured. His successor, George Allison, took charge and ensured Arsenal maintained their dominance, guiding them to a 3rd consecutive title in 1935. Key players like Cliff Baston and Alex James were instrumental, dazzling fans with their skill and creativity. Did you know? Arsenal became the first club in the 20th century to win 3 league titles in succession, setting a standard for future generations and laying the foundation for their continued success in English football. By the mid-90s, another club was making headlines, Sunderland. Known as the Bank of England club due to their financial muscle, Sunderland had a squad packed with talent. In 1936, they won the league title, led by the incredible Rich Carter, a player whose intelligence on the ball and playmaking ability were years ahead of his time. Carter wasn't just a goal scorer, he was a true leader, dictating play from midfield and linking up with strikers like Bobby Gurney, Sunderland's all-time top scorer. Under the management of Johnny Cochran, Sunderland's 1936 victory was a testament to their attacking prowess and defensive solidity. Though Manchester City wouldn't win the league until later, their 1937 season saw them begin to establish themselves as a footballing powerhouse. They won their first ever league title that season, driven by a formidable squad featuring Eric Brook, who remains one of the club's all-time top scorers, and Peter Doherty, a Northern Irish forward known for his dribbling and finishing. However, in a strange twist, City became the first reigning champions to be relegated the very next season in 1938. This remains one of the most shocking moments in English football history, a team going from title winners to relegation in just 1 year. What do you think about that? Drop your comment. Arsenal, led by manager George Allison, secured their 5th First Division title in the 1938 season. Under Allison's guidance, the team showcased exceptional skill and determination, with key players like Cliff Baston, Ted Drake, and Eddie Hapgood making significant contributions. The Gunners finished the season with 52 points from 42 matches, ultimately edging out Wolverhampton Wanderers by 3 points. Just as football in England was beginning to reach new heights, the world was thrown into turmoil. In the 1939 season, Everton once again proved their dominance, lifting the First Division title before the outbreak of World War II. Tommy Lawton, a young striker who would go on to become an England legend, was the key figure in their success, scoring an astonishing 38 goals in that campaign. But as war loomed, football took a back seat, and the World War II lasted for 6 years, which made the First Division English League to be suspended. Many English players enlisted in the military, with some never returning to the pitch ever again. True heroes, they will greatly be missed. Did you know that in 1934, Arsenal became the first team to wear numbered shirts in a competitive match? They did so in a game against Sheffield Wednesday, forever changing the way footballers were identified on the pitch. 7 years later, after the devastation of World War II, the English League resumed in 1946, bringing joy back to war-torn communities. Fans returned to stadiums in their thousands, eager to witness the rebirth of the game they loved. To them, football was a symbol of hope, unity, and resilience. Led by the legendary forward Billy Liddell, Albert Stubbins, and Jack Balmer, they displayed an unmatched fighting spirit, and they were all instrumental in guiding Liverpool to glory in 1947, and their success was a testament to determination, proving that football could provide a beacon of normalcy after years of hardship and war. Under the legendary Tom Whittaker, Arsenal won the English League in 1948, securing their 6th First Division title. This squad was spearheaded by influential players like Reg Lewis and Joe Mercer, who dominated opponents with their tactical intelligence and skill. Arsenal's triumph that season was a significant milestone, as they finished 7 points clear at the top. That's amazingly cool. In a remarkable display of resilience and dominance, Portsmouth Football Club secured their place in English football history by winning consecutive league titles in 1949 and 1950. Defying expectations, they established themselves as the country's top side, showcasing consistency, tactical discipline, and attacking prowess. Under the guidance of manager Bob Jackson, Portsmouth's tactical setup proved instrumental in their success. The team was spearheaded by key players such as Dougie Reed, Peter Harris, and Jimmy Dickinson, whose contributions were vital in both title-winning campaigns. Their attacking flair and defensive solidity ensured Portsmouth remained a formidable force. These back-to-back triumphs cemented Portsmouth's legacy, marking an unforgettable chapter in the club's history. Did you know? Portsmouth became the first team in English football history to win the league on goal average, narrowly edging out Wolves in 1949, a feat that remains a unique milestone in the sport. Managed by Arthur Rowe, Spurs won the English League in 1951 by revolutionizing English football with their innovative push-and-run playing style. Tottenham Hotspur became the first team in the th century to win the league title immediately after being promoted from the 2nd Division. Key players in their success included Alf Ramsey, Eddie Bailey, Les Medley. Spurs finished the season scoring an impressive 79 goals in the process. Their stylish play made them one of the most admired teams in English football. In 1952, Manchester United achieved a monumental victory by clinching their first division title in 41 years, under the guidance of Sir Matt Busby. After the devastation of the war, this triumph symbolized a new beginning for the club. Key players like Dennis Viollet, Jack Rowley, and goalkeeper Ray Wood played pivotal roles, while Busby's focus on developing young talent saw emerging stars like Duncan Edwards and Roger Byrne shine. The 1952 title was more than just a win, it marked the resurgence of Manchester United, providing hope to a city still healing from war's wounds. This victory was the first step toward the creation of one of the most successful football dynasties, laying the foundation for a future of dominance in English and European football. Arsenal clinched their 7th league title in 1953, showcasing a season of remarkable consistency under the guidance of Tom Whittaker. The Gunners edged past Preston North End on goal difference in one of the tightest title races in history. With a squad built on resilience and tactical discipline, they lost only 3 games throughout the campaign. Key players like Jimmy Logie, Doug Lishman, and Joe Mercer played crucial roles, ensuring Arsenal remained a dominant force in English football. This triumph cemented Arsenal's reputation as one of the country's most formidable clubs, continuing a legacy of excellence at Highbury. Originally formed as St. Luke's FC, Wolverhampton Wanderers etched their name in history by winning their first English league title in 1954. This victory marked the rise of a dominant force in English football. Central to their success was the iconic Billy Wright, a defensive rock and the first player to earn 100 caps for England. Under his leadership, Wolves showcased their strength at Molineux Stadium, one of the oldest continuously used grounds in world football. This triumph wasn't just a league win, it was a defining moment that cemented Wolves' status among England's elite. Did you know? Wolves' success helped inspire the creation of the European Cup. Under the leadership of Roy Bentley, Chelsea played a dynamic and disciplined brand of football, with Bentley himself being the club's top scorer for 6 consecutive seasons. Key players like Ken Armstrong, Eric Parsons, and John Harris ensured Chelsea remained strong throughout the 1955 campaign. As the season neared its end, Chelsea only needed a draw against Portsmouth at Stamford Bridge to clinch the league title. On April 22, 1955, a tense 0-0 draw secured the championship, marking Chelsea's first-ever league title. The celebrations were unforgettable as fans poured onto the pitch in joy. Manager Ted Drake had transformed an underdog team into the best in England. This victory marked the beginning of Chelsea's identity as a top club, eventually establishing them as one of the most prominent teams in world football. Did you know that Chelsea was invited to compete in the first-ever European Cup, now the UEFA Champions League, in 1955, but were forced to withdraw by the English League's management committee? Why do you think that was done to Chelsea? Only one knows the kind of history that must have been made. In the year 1956, Sir Matt Busby's Manchester United dominated English football, securing the league title with an unprecedented 11-point lead, making history as the youngest team to ever win the First Division. Their success continued into the 1957 season, as they defended their crown in spectacular fashion, reinforcing their reputation as one of the most exciting teams in Europe. However, on February 6, 1958, disaster struck. After a European Cup quarter-final against Red Star Belgrade, United's plane stopped in Munich, Germany for refueling. As the aircraft attempted to take off in heavy snow, the first 2 attempts were aborted due to engine issues. On the 3rd attempt, the plane struggled to gain speed on the slush-covered runway. It skidded off the end, crashing into a fence before hitting a nearby house. The Munich air disaster claimed 23 lives, including 8 Manchester United players: Duncan Edwards, Tommy Taylor, Roger Byrne, David Pegg, Eddie Coleman, Jeff Bent, Mark Jones, and Liam Whelan. Did you know? Edwards, hailed as one of the greatest talents ever, battled for 15 days before succumbing to his injuries. Sir Matt Busby, severely injured, was given just a 50% chance of survival. Sir Matt Busby survived, though. The tragedy left Manchester in mourning, but the legacy of the Busby Babes lives on in the heart of the club. As Manchester United mourned their tragedy, another powerhouse emerged, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Under the astute management of Stan Cullis, Wolves became a formidable force, blending physical dominance with tactical precision. Led by the legendary Billy Wright, their leadership and discipline made them one of the most feared teams in English football. In 1958, Wolves clinched their second league title in just 5 years, proving their growing supremacy. The following season in 1959, they successfully defended their crown, showcasing relentless attacking play and defensive resilience. Their back-to-back triumphs reinforced Wolves' reputation as a top-tier side. Did you know? Wolves were instrumental in pioneering floodlit football, playing high-profile night matches against international opponents, which ultimately contributed to the birth of European club competitions. In 1960, Burnley defied the odds to win the First Division title, showcasing a style of football built on teamwork, discipline, and tactical innovation. Managed by Harry Potts, Burnley became known for their fluid, quick-passing game, a rarity in English football at the time. The Clarets squad was filled with talented players, including Jimmy McIlroy, the creative heartbeat of the team, and Ray Pointer, who provided the crucial goals. Their title race went down to the final day, where a 2-1 victory over Manchester City at Main Road secured Burnley's place at the top. This triumph remains one of the club's greatest achievements, marking them as one of the smallest towns ever to produce a top-flight champion in English football history. In 1961, Tottenham etched their name in history with a breathtaking league campaign under the masterful leadership of Bill Nicholson. Nicholson built a side that blended skill, speed, and tactical brilliance, making them the most exciting team in England. At the heart of their success was Danny Blanchflower, the inspirational captain whose intelligence and leadership drove the team forward. Spurs played fast, attacking football, overwhelming opponents with their fluid style. Bobby Smith was a relentless goalscorer, while Cliff Jones tormented defenses with his pace and flair on the wing. Tottenham dominated the league, winning crucial matches with authority and finishing the season at the summit. Did you know? Tottenham clinched the league title with 31 wins out of 42 games, finishing 8 points ahead of Sheffield Wednesday. One of the biggest shocks in English football history came in 1962, when newly promoted Ipswich Town, managed by the tactical genius Alf Ramsey, won the First Division title in their debut season. Ray Crawford and Ted Phillips were prolific in front of goal, while the team's well-drilled defensive discipline stunned more established clubs. Did you know? Ipswich Town remains one of the only teams to win the top-flight title in their first-ever season after promotion. Liverpool's neighbours Everton had a resurgence in 1963 under manager Harry Catterick. With Alex Young, Roy Vernon and Brian LeBone forming the core of the team, Everton stormed to the league title, finishing 6 points clear of runners-up Tottenham. The Toffees played an attacking style, and their squad depth made them a dominant force. Goodison Park became a fortress, with opposition teams struggling to cope with their relentless pace and physicality. Liverpool had spent years in the second division before legendary manager Bill Shankly transformed them into a force to be reckoned with. After gaining promotion in 1962, they won the First Division title in 1964, marking the beginning of a golden era. The team was built around Ian St. John, Roger Hunt, and Ron Yates, with Shankly instilling an unbreakable team spirit. The famous "This is Anfield" sign was introduced to intimidate visiting teams. Liverpool repeated their triumph in 1966, cementing their status as one of the best teams in England. By repeating their triumph, the Reds cemented their status as one of the best teams in the country, showcasing their consistency and determination. This achievement marked a significant milestone in the club's history, setting the stage for future successes. Did you know? Bill Shankly once described football as more important than life or death, a statement that captured the passion of Liverpool's fans. After rebuilding from the tragedy of the Munich air disaster, Manchester United returned to the top under Sir Matt Busby. With the legendary George Best, Bobby Charlton and Dennis Law, United won the league in 1965 and 1967. Dennis Law's goal-scoring prowess earned him the Ballon d'Or in 1964, making him one of the best forwards of the decade. Meanwhile, George Best, a footballing genius, dazzled with his dribbling and flair, earning the nickname El Beetle. Did you know? In 1967, Manchester United clinched the title by finishing ahead of Nottingham Forest by just 4 points. In 1968, Manchester City won the English First Division title, edging out their rivals Manchester United by just 2 points. Managed by Joe Mercer and assistant Malcolm Allison, City played an exciting attacking style of football, with stars like Colin Bell, Francis Lee, and Mike Summerby leading the charge. On the final day of the season, City secured the title with a 4-3 victory over Newcastle United, ensuring they finished ahead of United. This triumph marked a golden era for City, showcasing their dominance in English football and setting the foundation for future success. In 1969, Leeds United ended with winning their first ever top-flight title under the legendary Don Revie. Known for their hard-nosed and highly organized playing style, Leeds dominated with a midfield led by Billy Bremner and Johnny Giles. Revie's team was feared across England, and their success in 1969 was just the beginning of a dominant spell that would continue into the 1970s. Did you know? Leeds United lost just 2 games during their title-winning season, showcasing their defensive strength. Question for the viewers: which team do you think changed football the most? Let us know in the comments section. Everton's 1970 league title was a testament to their attacking brilliance. Managed by Harry Catterick, they played breathtaking football with Alan Ball, Howard Kendall, and Colin Harvey, known as the Holy Trinity. They clinched the title in style, finishing 9 points clear of Leeds United. Did you know the trio Alan Ball, Howard Kendall, and Colin Harvey are celebrated with a statue outside Goodison Park? They were considered one of the best midfields of their generation. Arsenal's 1971 season was one for the ages. Managed by Bertie Mee, they achieved their first ever league and FA Cup double, a feat only previously done in the 20th century by Tottenham. The Gunners clinched the league title in dramatic fashion at White Hart Lane, home of their fierce rivals Tottenham Hotspur. A late Ray Kennedy header secured a 1-0 win, crowning Arsenal as champions. Derby County shocked English football by winning their first ever league title in 1972 under the charismatic Brian Clough. With no major superstars, Clough built a team around discipline and teamwork, featuring key players like Roy McFarland, Kevin Hector, and Colin Todd. The title race went down to the final day, with Derby having already played their last game. As they nervously watched results come in, both Leeds United and Liverpool failed to win, handing Derby County the First Division title in stunning fashion. Did you know? Brian Clough never saw his 1972 title-winning team play the final match, as he was on holiday in the Scilly Isles. Liverpool won the league in 1973 under the legendary Bill Shankly, with key players like Kevin Keegan, Emlyn Hughes, and John Toshak leading the charge. Their high-intensity pressing style and tactical discipline set them apart from their rivals, making them a dominant force in English football. Shankly's leadership and vision laid the foundation for Liverpool's future success. However, it was his successor, Bob Paisley, who would take the club to even greater heights, turning them into a powerhouse in both domestic and European competitions. As we have come to the end of this video, please like and subscribe to our channel for more episodes and football contents. Thank you.